Let's see here. Get that out of the way. This one, I might have shown this one too already. I hope I haven't, but this is a Rough Ryder. They call it the Bullfrog. Now, I picked it up because of the other Bullfrog, and I should have grabbed that other Bullfrog and brought it over here. Hold on just a second. I will bring it over if I can. I found it. Here was the original Bullfrog in the black and green G10. It has some nice cuts going through that G10 and a two-tone blade. And here's the new Bullfrog. This one is in Pakkawood. Now this one, I thought, did it have a, yes, it did have a pocket clip on there, and it was a tip down pocket clip. And as you can see here from the holes, I just removed the pocket clip. I wasn't crazy about it. Have not removed the pocket clip from here, but I might. And the pocket clip is not reversible. But I saw that, and it's like, oh, wow, and it was a relatively low price. Got a brass collar around the front pivot here. So give it a little shake, and it will close for you. That's a problem. Not crazy about that. Might need to tighten that up. That's odd that it would be able to move that much. Is this my... Do I have... let's see here. I do not know if I've got a torque wrench available. See, now if I was filming this separately, I would be taking this off with a torque bit, but I don't have a torque bit available right now. I think it is in the other room, and I'm not going that far. But that is definitely an issue for something that I just purchased. I haven't done anything with it, and that is loose. I think that would be problematic. Now, for me, it's not a problem because I was going to take it off anyway. But for most people, they would want that. I would say that's a problem. Now, even for a $12 or $13 knife, a lot of people complain about that. That does not look. Can you see there? Right there. See the screws there are not going to move. But that moved. Is that not weird? I just noticed that right now. I did not notice it earlier. That's annoying. Would you say that's, yeah, well, now it's in first gear. Now it's in reverse, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, that's coming off on mine, but that would be something, I'm curious if anyone else has bought this and if they've run into the same issue. That is kind of a problem.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Knife Chats with Tobias.
Just a real quick follow-up on the December 1st live. I showed the RR2673, that is the Pakkawood Bullfrog, and I showed that the pocket clip was loose and was swiveling all over the place. Well, I took my little T6 torque screw, tightened up the two screws, and now it is nice and firm and it will hold. If you notice, it's a little proud right there, but now it is tight. So the problem is the two screws were a little loose, and that was causing this to wobble all over the place. So what you'll probably need to do, if that is the case, get a little bit of a Loctite, put a couple drops on there and tighten up the screws, and then put a little drop of Loctite on each of the screws to hold it in place if you want to keep the pocket clip on. I'm going to remove the pocket clip. Also, the pivot was tight and it would just not fly straight open. It was catching. I took a T8, actually two T8s. I needed because you've got one on either side, and I gave basically a quarter turn on this on one side while having the other T8 on this side. Gave it a quarter turn, and now it flies open with no problem, and it is much more drop shutty to the point where I don't trust it to drop. I am left-handed. I don't want my thumb in the way, but it is a little more drop shutty than it was before. So minor, bad flip, but minor adjustments, and the knife will work the way you want it to work. And otherwise, it's a pretty nice knife. It is going to be a little bit heavy in the pocket, I will tell you that right now. But even with the little bit of loosening, I guess I could loosen it a little more. Let's see. All right, I gave it a little bit of wrist action. In any case, it is definitely adjustable. I loosened it maybe 1/8 of a turn. It is still nice and tight. There's no blade wobble or anything going on. So you can loosen it a little bit and it will work better for you for the flipping open. And loosen it a little more, it'll be even a little more drop shotty. I don't know how far you can go with loosening it before it basically becomes a blade wobble monster. That could easily happen too. As you can see, completely open construction here, so you can definitely rinse it out and everything. I'm assuming you could take this apart if you wanted to. I'm not going to bother to do that, especially with an aligner. Like I tell you what, the detent is strong. I cannot pull it open. You definitely have to use the flipper. I know a lot of people would prefer to have a thumb stud on there, but yeah, you can definitely flip it open. Like I mentioned before, I was showing this in the live. This was the original Bullfrog. I removed the pocket clip up here. This was a tip down pocket clip. This one's a tip up pocket clip. The detent on this is very strong. The detent is what is basically holding the blade closed, not, it is not an auto opener, as you can see right there. I really should loosen it up a little more, jeez, because it's not doing what I want it to do. Let me see if I give it another 1/8 of a turn, if that makes a difference. Oh, did I go the wrong way? Am I tightening it? Let's see. I think I tightened it. I'm not a good flipper of knives anyway, so others will probably do much better with it. There we go, much better. We really got to hit that the flipper. Yeah. If I wasn't in front of the camera, I could do this a whole lot better too. But anyway, it does flip pretty well. And it has some really nice grain in the Pakkawood. I was talking before that I was going to take off the pocket clip anyway, and I'm going to do that now. One of the reasons I don't use the pocket clip on knives too often is because where I live, this knife would probably be legal to carry, but I really don't want to let people know that I have a knife in my pocket. I like it to be inside the pocket, and even though this is a semi-deep carry pocket, when you got that clip there and the bump there, anyone who's looking at you knows that you have a knife in your pocket, and I prefer it if people don't know that I have a knife in my pocket. Let's see, did I get the 6? I don't think that's a 6. T5 I missed. Okay, nothing else. The heat turned off, right? So now you can hear it. Man, we've been going through a cold snap here. All right, maybe this is T6, or did I grab T7? T6. Yeah, T6 to remove the pocket clip. Come on. Did I tighten it too much? Hopefully I'm not stripping the screw. If I did, I'm going to be upset because I really do want to remove the pocket clip. All right, that's going to be a problem. Or is it? I don't know. Well, taking off the pocket clip became a little bit more of a chore than I was expecting. And if you look in there, you can see that there are metal liners to this. And the pocket clip does actually screw through the Pakkawood into the metal liners, which is good. I mean, it is, the metal torque screws are actually being seated into the metal liner. It's just not like, screwed into the wood, which is a good thing. Otherwise, this thing would strip with no problem at all. However, what I notice is if you notice the diameter of the screw versus the holes there, the hole is a lot larger than the screw. And you can see that the screw can jiggle around there. And that's why in the live, I was able to wobble this thing so much. And what I noticed when I started to take it off, is this the one? Yeah, this is the one that is stripped. If you can tell, maybe you can, I don't know. But this one is stripped, this one is not. And it got stripped when I went to tighten it up. I tightened the bottom one, and that one tightened up fairly easily. The top one was more problematic when I went to tighten it up. And the reason I discovered is because it was basically sitting in the handle at a little bit of a cant, and then it was screwed into the hole. And so when I screwed it in, I actually cross-threaded into the metal handle down here, or the metal liner. And that's why it was not seated properly to begin with, and that is why this was wobbling all over the place. I was able to tighten it up, but what I probably should have done is remove both screws first and then screwed it in correctly. One of them was screwed in crooked, and that caused the problem. I was going to take off the pocket clip anyway, so it's not a big deal to me. The other thing I remember now is that I actually had bought 2 of these, and the other one went out with my Rough Ryder challenge with 5 knives. I sent 5 Rough Ryder knives out to other channels. So I'm hoping that when the other people get this knife, they will take a look at that pocket clip closely and see how well it is adjusted, or how well it is attached to the knife. Like I said, I loosened it easy enough, the pivot up here, so that worked out really well. Blade is not straight down the middle, but it is fairly well. It's centered enough that it's not hitting anywhere. The knife does have a very good detent. I loosened it a bit. Still have to use a little bit of wrist to get the blade to actually pop, but it's popping pretty well. Does this say what kind of steel is in here? I can't remember the steel that they said was used in here. I'm going to go with, as they have not said, 3CR or 420 or something like that. But it does have nice Pakkawood handles. Very open construction, so you can definitely rinse it out with no problem, which is very good. Pocket size, we're talking a little over 4 inches. No, right at 4 inches. 4 inches closed. Overall length open with that, I will say, a modified sheepfoot blade. 7 inches. You got a blade that is 2 3/4 inches, would you say? With slightly over 2.5 inches, maybe 2 5/8 inches for a cutting edge on that nice little blade. I guess you could say it's a modified sheepfoot. This one, a little bit smaller, a little more pocket friendly. More or less a, I don't know what I would call that one. I gave it a name before though. That one also has, well, that's a 2 1/4 inch cutting edge on a 2 3/8 inch blade, I would say, and closed. Both of these were called a Bullfrog. I was expecting this one to be closer in size to this Bullfrog, but it's not. This is right at 3.5, maybe 3 3/8 inches closed. So a little bit smaller than the Pakkawood Bullfrog. Both are well constructed though, I think. This one, like I said, is purely gravity. It's a detent that holds the blade closed, and when it locks, see that? There's a little bit of a snap into the place, and the detent holds pretty good. You need to really get your finger on there, give it a flip. So it's a very strong detent, but also a very nice little blade, satin finish on the blade there. And we saw this one. This one is auto. So this one is going to have more restrictions in place because of it being an auto, or, you know, a spring assisted opener. This one is not a spring assisted opener, but it is one hand opening, which is nice. And it's also one hand closing, even left-handed, once you get used to the liner lock there. In any case, like I said, there is another version of it floating around. I know because I set it off with my 5 Rough Ryder knives that people are looking at, and so we'll see what other people think of it, and we'll see if anyone else has a problem with the pocket clip like I did. Right now we have a sample size of 1. If you can find the Rough Ryder 5 knife challenge that's going on, you will see this knife in there, and hopefully someone will address the pocket clip there, and then we'll have a sample size of 2. But all in all, I'm pretty pleased with it, especially now that I got rid of the pocket clip. I guess one more thing about these 2 knives. Like I mentioned before, this one's longer. This is almost a 1/2 inch longer. However, this one is at least a 1/2 ounce heavier than this one. So this comes in at 4.3 ounces. This one comes in at 3.7 ounces. So you're looking at a difference of 0.6 ounces between the 2. The G10 handled one is a heavier knife, despite this one being a larger knife. And I have a feeling the main reason for that is because of the spring assisted mechanism going on in here. And as you can tell with the steel liners, the liners are much thicker on the original Bullfrog with the green G10 handles. So if you're looking for something a little bit lighter and a little bit larger, then the Pakkawood version is probably the better deal for you. If the weight doesn't matter and you need something a little more compact and you like the idea of an assistant opener, then the original G10 Bullfrog is probably your better option. In any case, I'm happy to have both of them here. I thought I would throw that in at the end here because, well, I was doing the specs and I noticed that. Anyway, with that said, now let's move into the slides.
let me take just a second to thank you once again for dropping by and spending a few minutes here at Knife Chats with the Pious. I really do appreciate it, and I do appreciate any comments that you leave. So please remember to give me that thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you'll know when the next episode is up and running. Thanks again for dropping by. Really do appreciate your time here.